90% of gamblers quit before they win big. Do you know that? Do you know that 90% of gamblers quit before they win big? You know, if I keep gambling, maybe I gotta win big. Below natural says I have to win big. Please, please, I need the nuke. It's 1% chance. Please give me a nuke. Okay, so they added gambling to TDS. The method of adding gambling is these new things called consumables, and I hate them. They're terrible. Alright, I'll explain why. But first of all, how do you get these new amazing things? Alright, so you go to the crates tab. This is a little bit weird, but you have to go to the crates tab to get them. You'd think they have a whole own thing for this, because crates have always been for skins, but now we have a whole part of them just for consumables. Now, as you can see here, we got the high grade one is 50 Robux, just for a single crate, which is a little bit sketchy. But then these two you can actually go with money. I'll just buy one of these to show you. Yeah, open it up. These consumable items. We got a barricade, we got a UAV, we got an airstrike, we got a grenade, we got another airstrike, and you got flashbang. So 6 items. I think the amount might be random. I honestly don't know. But yeah, you get them from these crates under the consumables tab. In the future, you're supposedly going to be able to get them from like winning games, and also there's going to be a daily spin. I don't know. New update is coming out next week, and that's going to be really cool. But then you go to the actual consumables tab, which is its whole own thing. And as you can see, there's a couple different rarities. The epic legendary are a lot harder to get. I don't even have a nuke yet. I have a couple lizard bombs. The nuke is extremely rare, and I'll show you why. I'll show you why. There's common, uncommon, rare, epic, legendary, and I'm gonna be real. These are really overpowered and broken, because really what these do is like legitimately what these do is they just remove the need for early game tower. You can just use barricade and supply drop, and like I'll show you, you can just like skip the first 10 waves of Fallen essentially and get like full farms. Like you can get like 8 level 3 farms, wave 10 Fallen without placing a single tower that isn't farmed. That's kind of what these do, because the weird thing about these is that when you use one in game, instead of it spending money in game, you just lose one. Because when you get one, it like I have 13 of these remaining. If I were to place one down in a game, I'd have 12 remaining. So instead of spending money in the game, you spend money out of the game to get these, which is a little bit weird, because you have to be very lucky to get some of these. So basically, there's no disadvantage to using a blizzard bomb in game, besides the fact that you lose one in the lobby. And to get them in the lobby, you have to spend a lot of money and a lot of time, which is not how this game has been balanced in the past. How this game has always been balanced is that you spend money here to get towers, and then you go into the game and spend money there to actually place them, which is how every tower defense game ever has been balanced. Blue CD6 has these consumables too, but they do it a really good way. The way they do it actually makes sense. This makes no sense, the way TDS implemented them, and it's pretty clear this is just a big cash grab. And to make matters worse, they had a new VIP Plus Game Pass, which is a subscription. I didn't even know you could do subscriptions on Roblox. You get for like $5 a month to get like nothing. You get tower pets. They became Pet Simulator X. We're playing Pet Simulator X right now. This is what's happened. It's horrifying. The simulator, entire defense simulator, is finally actually realized. So as for which ones you should bring and what they all do, I have a whole other video planned on all that. But generally speaking, you should only ever be using these for early game, and maybe to buff your towers later, like with the flags, or I guess UAV, but I'll talk about that in a different video. If you're gonna bring consumables, bring barricade and bring supply drop. The barricade is amazing for early game. You can place a max of 4 of them when you're in the game, and they have a pretty short cooldown, which I'll show you in a second. And supply drop is just blatantly overpowered. I think we can all agree this is really, really good. But you're gonna notice something about my loadout. I'm gonna be soloing Fallen. And you're probably looking at my loadout right now, you're thinking, wait a minute, you don't really have an early game tower. Like, that's kind of weird. You know, to solo Fallen, you're gonna need an early game tower. But that's the thing, you don't need an early game tower. I don't need an early game tower. I mean, Cryomancer is kind of an early game tower, but I don't need one, and I'll show you why. It's legitimately kind of insane. I can bring something else instead of an early game tower. The way that you've always needed to do any solo game mode, you've always kind of needed to do farm, commander, DJ, and then early game tower and a late game tower. But I can just bring a late game tower and whatever else I want, because early game is now covered by these things. I don't even have a 3 and 4, because these are the only 2 that you're actually ever going to be using, I think, except for the nuke. But I'll talk about that at a different time, because that thing's just blatantly overpowered. There are a cooldown on them that at the start of the game you have. But what I'm gonna do this. You're gonna see. I'm just gonna farm, because I don't actually need to get anything. You know why? Because in 10 seconds I can place a barricade, and that I spend $0 on. I spend no money getting a barricade, and it does 150 damage, which completely goes against all of the fundamentals this game has ever had. Also, cool animations they had there. But there we go. See, look at that. I got 150 HP barricade, very high quality. I think that's really good. But everything, they just die. everything just dies, and I can just farm. It's so stupid, honestly. Also, they did change the thing down here, this new little button. I think it's cool. I like it a lot. And what's great about barricades is they don't, like, despawn, so I can just, like, place a bunch of them. Like, I'm just gonna, every time I can, I'm gonna place one. And then supply drop, as you'll see in a second, $1,200 for free, for nothing. You get $1,200 for doing nothing. Like, that goes against all fundamentals this game has ever had with balance. Same for, like, this is 150 free damage, $1,200 free dollars. Like, that's just not how this game has ever worked. That's not how any well-balanced tower defense game has ever worked. And Fallen, it has not been reworked. It's still way too, like, with these new things, Fallen is way too easy. Because I can, you'll see, I can just get through these first waves without placing a single tower besides farm. It's actually ridiculous. Now, I think they're going to rework Fallen. I think they're going to make it a lot harder because they kind of need to because of these new abilities. But the entire game is not balanced around these abilities. The game is balanced around having towers, like, you know, a tower defense game. It's not balanced around stuff like this, where I can just get 150 damage for doing literally nothing, spending no money. That's just not how this game works. Now, their, like, semi-method of balance on these when you're actually in the game is that they have a cooldown that you can only use a certain number of them. If that wasn't a feature, then this would just be stupidly overpowered. This should be blatantly overpowered. But yeah, I'm just gonna place another barricade. I have all 4 down. This is the maximum damage I can get. And this amount of damage that those barricades are confirmed to do, if I keep getting supply drops, is enough for me to get to wave 10 with full level 3 farms. Now that's with really good farming, but also I'm soloing, and you know, generally speaking, you're not gonna be soloing Fallen. Like, this, right now, it's a little bit difficult because I have to farm well and I have to use these in the right way. But if I had 4 people, this would be so unfair. This would be idiotic. We could have 16 barricades down. Like, that's just ridiculous. And, you know, as I said, their sort of method for justifying why it's okay that you don't need to spend any money and it goes completely against all of the, you know, design philosophy this game has had for its entire existence. Their method of justifying that is that you have to spend a lot of coins in the lobby. And that you have to just get really lucky when you're opening these like crates. Like, that's just stupid. And look at this. I have full level. I have 1 level 4 farm. I have full level 3 and 1 random level 4 farm. Actually, wait, I'm 1 short. But I will get a full level 3 farms before I need to do literally anything. I mean, actually, I think I might take damage here. But honestly, that's fine. I don't really even give a shit because what I can do, check this out. I can just get a supply drop, get $1,200 for free. This is just idiotic. I mean, look at this. Hold on. And now I have full level 3 farms. Let me get this supply drop. And okay. Yeah, I have enough for this, so I can just put this down, and I'll be fine. Okay, well, I'm not gonna be fine. This is a hyperbole example. You know, generally speaking, you're not actually gonna be doing this because you shouldn't need to get full level 3 farms. I just want to demonstrate how easy it is to, because I can leak all this. Like, I have enough HP. I can just let this go. Wait, can I? Yeah, I can leak all this. I'll be fine, you know? And now I have a golden minigunner on wave 10 with full level 3 farms. Because, you know, that's how you're supposed to be able to play this game. It's idiotic, right? It's stupid. I mean, this is like the definition of pay to win right here. Because you know, like I said, you know, if you spend a Robux on those special crates, then you can get a lot of items for real money instead of having to actually play the game, which is just idiotic. Because you can get like a nuke, which is really overpowered. The nuke is like the real pay to win thing here. It does 50,000 damage to anything you want, and it has splash. So you can just do a stupid amount of damage with that thing, and you don't need to spend any money in the game. All you need is to spend a lot of real life money. This is like literally the definition of pay to win. It's honestly pathetic. Plus with the new VIP game pass, it's pretty clear what the purpose of this update is. It's pretty obvious what they were doing here, you know? But one other thing I will say, all these little animations and sound effects they had for all these, I think they are really cool. I don't have any other examples because I only brought the 2 that you'll ever actually need. If I had brought more, it would have been even more overpowered, but I didn't because I'm a good person. But see that little animation? Like, all this is very high quality, and I'm very glad about that. It's just that it's overpowered, which is I'm not glad about that. It goes against every design thing in this game's ever had, which also begins to make more sense why intermediate mode was made the way it was, because people were saying it was kind of too hard. I mean, it wasn't necessarily too hard. People figured it out pretty quickly. Like, I have a whole video. All you need is militant and farm to beat it. But it makes sense why they made it the way they did, because they were expecting, you know, in the next update everything's gonna be way easier. So they just need to get around to balancing these modes, and I think it'll be less of a big problem. But right now it's a giant issue, just how overpowered some of these things are. And I think that the issue that's always gonna be in this game, and the core issue with consumables, is that you're not, like, only fit one part of the design philosophy of this game. The design philosophy of this game is that you get progression from playing the game, then you unlock new towers, and then in the game, when you're actually playing it, you can put down towers, and you can spend money on them in the game. That's how this game has always worked. But consumables, they only fit one side of that. They fit the side of the lobby. You play the game a lot to get these, and then when you're actually in the game, they don't need to be balanced at all. All you need to do is spend a lot of money outside the game, and then you can just get full level 3 farms by wave 18 and having a max and level 3 minigunner. These are gold minigunners, by the way. This is stupidly overpowered, right? It's just idiotic. I mean, people should struggle to solo Fallen. Soloing Fallen isn't something that should be easy, but look at me go. This is pathetic. I mean, like, can you imagine, like, game modes, it's always been super hard to beat. Like, you can probably, like, duo Polluted Wasteland now, to be honest. Like, early game is just so much easier in every game mode now. And early game has, for a long time, been sort of the part of TDS that the devs usually make the hardest. Like, you know, in hardcore, Polluted Wasteland, I think Badlands, I don't play Badlands that much. Generally speaking, the early game is what they make harder to kind of justify. Because the later waves, when you have, like, a bunch of accelerators, that's always easy. And now they've made the early waves super easy with these pay-to-win features. Now, these two aren't pay-to-win, which is great, but they're still just overpowered. Like, these two, you just have to spend, like, very few coins on. But also, not everybody can do that, too. Like, only late-game players are actually able to do this. And while I think it's a cool concept in general, you have to spend money on them to use them in the game. Like, while I'm sitting here, there shouldn't just be a limit at a cooldown. There should be a limit at a cooldown, and you have to spend money on it in-game, or else it's just pointless. And I'm not talking about coins in the lobby, I mean money on it in the game. I shouldn't be able to get $1,200 for free without doing anything. I shouldn't be able to get 150 damage confirmed on an enemy without having to do anything. That's just stupid. It goes against all the design moral philosophy things this game has always had. I mean, you know, it probably sounds like I'm planning a lot here, and I am, because this is idiotic. I mean, I don't know if they thought they were doing a good job here, but they clearly were not. This game, I honestly hate to see so many games become pay-to-win, but I think that TDS, and plus with the skibbity toilet update a while ago, you know, I didn't even make a video about that. That was just such a train wreck. I mean, honestly, like, what is happening to this game, man? I mean, literally every strategy that's ever been devised for this game, every hardcore strat, can be thrown out the window with this. Can be just defenestrated, get rid of all of it, because the game is completely different now. We are not playing the same game we were 2 weeks ago. I mean, to be honest, I've made all my points. I think you can just trust that I would have beaten the game. I mean, I just kind of don't want to sit here for another, like, 10 minutes. I just kind of get...